You think your morning routine matters because it sets your mood. Marcus Aurelius knew it mattered because it determined whether he'd be controlled by his emotions or control them. The difference isn't subtle. One approach makes you feel better, the other makes you unbreakable. Most morning routines today are about optimization, productivity hacks, cold showers, green smoothies, meditation apps, all designed to extract more output from your day. But the Roman emperor who ruled the most powerful empire on earth wasn't trying to be more productive. He was trying to remain free. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your morning routine isn't failing because you lack discipline. It's failing because you've built it around the wrong goal. You're optimizing for performance when you should be preparing for resistance. Because the world will try to control you today. People will demand your attention. Circumstances will trigger your anger. Your own mind will seduce you with comfort and distraction. And if you haven't prepared for that battle, you've already lost it. Marcus Aurelius understood this. Every morning, before the Senate meetings, the military decisions, the political betrayals, he did something most people never do. He reminded himself of what was coming. Not to fear it, to inoculate himself against it. The first thing he did, before anyone could make demands, before the empire's problems became his problems, was confront his own resistance. He wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being." Notice what he's doing here. He's not motivating himself. He's not hyping himself up with affirmations about being unstoppable or crushing the day. He's stating reality, bluntly, without decoration. You have work to do. Your feelings about it are irrelevant. This is the first principle of a Stoic morning. Premeditated resistance. Most people wait until they feel ready, until they feel motivated, until the conditions are right. Marcus knew that waiting for readiness is surrendering control, because readiness is a feeling, and feelings are not reliable commanders. So he prepared for resistance the moment he woke up. He expected his mind to offer excuses, expected his body to crave comfort, expected the day to be difficult. And by expecting it, by naming it before it arrived, he stripped it of its power to surprise him. When someone betrayed him later that day, he wasn't shocked. He'd already reminded himself that morning. People will lie, manipulate, and act out of self-interest. He wrote it down in what we now call meditations, not as a published book, but as private notes to himself. This is the mechanism most people miss. Marcus wasn't writing philosophy for others. He was inoculating himself against his own emotional reactions. Every morning, he wrote reminders like these. Today, I shall be meeting with an interfering, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly person. Read that again. This is the Emperor of Rome, starting his day by expecting the worst from people. But here's where it gets interesting. He didn't stop there. He continued. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized the nature of the wrongdoer. He is related to me. This is where most people misunderstand Stoicism. They think it's about cold detachment, emotional suppression, building walls around yourself. But Marcus is doing the opposite. He's preparing for difficulty while maintaining compassion. He's seeing betrayal coming and choosing not to hate the betrayer. That's not detachment. That's mastery. The second principle, voluntary discomfort. After this mental preparation, Marcus didn't ease into the day. He deliberately chose the harder path. Cold water, minimal food, uncomfortable positions during his morning study. Why? Because comfort is seductive, and seduction is control. Every time you choose the easy option, you're training yourself to be controlled by comfort. Every time you hit snooze, avoid the difficult conversation, procrastinate on the important work, you're not just delaying, you're conditioning yourself to obey your impulses. Marcus knew that the emperor who cannot resist the comfort of his bed cannot resist the flattery of his advisors. The man who needs perfect conditions to start working will need perfect conditions to make hard decisions. And perfect conditions never come. So he practiced discomfort when nothing was at stake, so he could endure discomfort when everything was at stake.
When Roman soldiers were freezing on the Germanic frontier, Marcus was there with them, not because he had to be,
because he'd trained himself not to need comfort to function. That training started every morning. Here's what this looks like in your life. The moment you feel resistance to something you know you should do, that's the exact moment to do it. Not because it's optimal, because hesitation is where control enters. The space between knowing what to do and doing it, that's where you lose your freedom. But there's a third principle most people miss. Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. Marcus didn't just think about this occasionally, he confronted it every morning. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. Because when you remember that your time is finite, the trivial offenses become trivial again. The person who cut you off in traffic, the colleague who took credit for your work, the argument about nothing that consumes your evening. None of it survives contact with mortality. Marcus lost 8 of his 13 children. He watched friends die, witnessed plagues, knew that emperors, despite their power, died just as easily as slaves. And every morning he reminded himself, today might be your last day. Will you waste it being controlled by anger over something that won't matter in a week? This is the part that makes people uncomfortable. Because if you truly accepted your mortality every morning, you'd have to change how you're living. You'd have to admit that most of what consumes your attention is noise. Most of what triggers your anger is insignificant. Most of what you're postponing, the meaningful work, the honest conversations, the disciplined action, can't be postponed forever. So here's what a Stoic morning routine actually looks like. Not the Instagram version, the real one. First, before you check your phone, before you engage with anyone else's agenda, confront your own resistance. Name it. Expect the day to be difficult. Expect people to disappoint you. Write it down if you need to. Strip the day of its power to surprise you into reaction. Second, choose voluntary discomfort. Cold shower. Difficult task first. The conversation you're avoiding. Whatever you're resisting, that's the thing you do. Not to punish yourself, to prove to yourself that you are not controlled by the preference for comfort. Third, remember you will die. Not to depress yourself, to liberate yourself. Ask, if this were my last day, would I waste it being angry at this? Anxious about this? Distracted by this? The answer reveals what actually matters. And here's the darker layer most people never see. Marcus Aurelius had more power than almost any human in history. He could have anyone killed, could take anything he wanted, could live in absolute luxury and self-indulgence. But he knew something that most people miss. External power is the most dangerous form of slavery. The more power you have over others, the more temptation you face. The more comfort available, the weaker you become. The more people telling you you're right, the more detached from reality you drift. So his morning routine wasn't about gaining more power. It was about remaining free from the corruption that power creates. He wrote, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." Think about that. He's not saying the injury isn't real. He's saying your interpretation of it, your sense of being wronged, is what gives it power over you. Someone insults you, that's just sound waves. It becomes an injury only when you accept it as one. Someone betrays you, that's just their choice. It becomes your suffering only when you believe it shouldn't have happened. This is the ultimate morning practice, preparing to refuse the invitation to suffer. Because the world will offer you that invitation a dozen times today. Someone will disrespect you. Circumstances will frustrate you. Your own mind will tell you you're not enough, or you're too much, or you're falling behind. And if you haven't prepared yourself, if you've started your day reactive, comfort-seeking, scrolling through other people's curated realities, you'll accept that invitation. You'll suffer and call it life. But if you've done what Marcus did, if you've confronted resistance, chosen discomfort, and remembered your mortality, something changes. The same events happen, the same people disappoint, the the same obstacles appear, but you stop being controlled by them. Not because you've suppressed your emotions, because you've seen through the illusion that you're supposed to feel good all the time, that life should be easy, that people should meet your expectations. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and slept on the ground with his soldiers. You can't even start your day without coffee and checking your phone. The question isn't whether you'll face resistance today. You will. The question is whether you'll prepare for it or let it control you the moment it arrives. True freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's becoming immune to the tyranny of comfort, opinion, and circumstance. And that freedom is built every morning, in the 15 minutes before the world makes its demands. Marcus understood, the battle for your day is won or lost before most people wake up. The more you understand human nature, the harder it becomes to remain blind.